always a better choice. My one and only station.
DBS Radio.
Fair and balanced, unbiased and clear, concise and accurate. This is the DBS Evening News. Here now is your presenter with the headlines.
In the headlines, the chairman of Committee Petite Creole calls for a government subvention to advance the work of the committee. In news from the region, Trinidad and Tobago police investigating reports of 2 citizens killed in U.S. strike off Venezuela. And internationally, U.S. President Donald Trump says he will meet with Russia's president for Ukraine talks. Good evening, I am Leila Langford. Details of the news when we return.
Yo, what's up?
Baby, let's go!
Turn your TV on. Listen to DBS on Digital TV Channel 50 and Flow TV Channel 951.
DBS News.
Welcome back. Chairman of the Comité Petite Creole, Raymond Lawrence, has called for a government subvention to advance the work of the committee. His call came at the national consultation for the Creole language at the UE Global Campus this morning. He says a national Creole policy is also long overdue.
CAC is hoping that as one of the results of this consultation, we will see more support for the creation of our national Creole policy to establish Creole as an accepted and recognized national language of Dominica. That at the end of the consultation, recommendations can be made for the recognition of CAC as one of the legal entities for the advancement of the Creole language in Dominica. I'd also like to recommend that the government give consideration to providing CAC with a subvention which will assist us with our work, and maybe an office which can support the production of video materials and materials for schools, for public. We're also recommending that apart from primary schools, that Creole be taught in all secondary schools as well. We were able to provide the proper Creole spelling for our national motto, Appuie bon Dieu c'est la terre, and Cabinet has approved, and we are recommending that all national emblems which use the Creole language should have the proper Creole spellings of all words which are part of the emblems. We also are recommending that government and private sector approve of Creole sign interpretations, and somebody mentioned that as well, names of villages, other signs. You go to the stores, you see the bilingual signs in English and Creole. We can have a lot more of those across the island.
Chairman of Comité Petite Creole, Raymond Lawrence. Member of the Comité Petite Creole, Sonia Akpa, told the consultation that there needs to be a national effort to legitimize the Creole language.
We need to develop confidence in speaking Creole so that we have more fluent Creole speakers. And so we need to develop confidence in speaking Creole. And the only way we can do that is if we speak it more in all kinds of forums. People need to know how to write and how to spell Creole. The Creole orthography and then mastery of the written language. If we know the orthography, then we will be able to write the language. I think we need a formal institution to deal with all aspects of the Creole language. And we need greater use of Creole at the national level. We need greater use of Creole at the national level and official recognition of Creole. We need to use the language a little more, and official recognition, government. I wish Creole would be recognized as a national language because it would give it, and that would be ultimate legitimization, national language. It has to be a national project with the entire Dominican community.
Member of the Comité pour Études Creole, Sonia Akpa. In recognition of their outstanding contribution to the preservation and promotion of the Creole language and culture, tribute plaques were presented to Grace Henderson on behalf of her deceased father, Felix Henderson, and Amanda Richardson on behalf of deceased Jamala Fontaine. Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Education, Robert Geese, says that the Ministry of Education has taken steps to develop a draft Creole curriculum for Dominica. His comments came at the National Creole Language Consultation this morning. Geese says introducing Creole in schools across Dominica is critical for the ministry.
Legitimizing Creole is an act of cultural justice. It is about affirming to every child that the heritage is valid, the voice is valued, and the identity is a source of strength, not a subject for correction. This is where the mandate of the Ministry of Education becomes indispensable. Our role is to shape a system that reflects the realities and aspirations of our people. We are the bridge between cultural intent and educational implementation. I am proud to stand here today and report that the Ministry of Education has not been idle. The journey of legitimization is already underway. We have worked hand in hand with the dedicated members of the Comité pour Études Creole to develop a draft Creole curriculum. This document is a critical first step, providing a structured pathway for integrating our language into the formal learning environment. And to this end, we have Ms. Celestine and Ms. Charlene White-Christian leading the charge on the Ministry of Education side. So they're the focal points for Creole curriculum within the Ministry of Education.
Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Education, Robert Geese. 2 male students are among the 5 participants of the 2nd annual DBS Radio Independence Creole Speech Competition. The event will take place tomorrow at the UE Global Campus under the theme Creole is not Patois, Preserving Our Linguistic Legacy. Head of the Language Department of DBS Radio, Kiwana Fontaine Wilson, says this year's event promises to be an interesting one.
With just one day to go before the much anticipated 2nd edition of the DBS Radio Independence Creole Speech Competition, we are making final preparations, and that is in high gear. We are overjoyed to present another Creole speech competition under the theme Creole pas patois, sauver langue nous. Creole is not patois, preserving our linguistic legacy. So the competition promises to showcase the talents of our 5 secondary school students in presenting Creole, speaking Creole, and also to play their part in helping preserve the Creole language. So all systems are in place for a successful event. The participating schools are Castlebrue Secondary School. The student representing is Jean-Pierre Bonny, St. Mary's Academy, Michelo Cassius, St. Martin's Secondary School, Itania Liverpool, the Convent High School, Trinity Meyer, and the Dominic Grammar School, Lydia Charles. These are the 5 participants for this year's competition. We are excited to have them. We are hoping that the event tomorrow, Wednesday, September 17th, at the UE Auditorium, from 11 a.m. live on DBS radio frequencies and also streamed on our various social media platforms.
Head of the Language Department at DBS Radio, Kiwana Fontaine Wilson. A new controversy has emerged within the Dominica Calypso Association as Joey Lloyd has resigned from the executive just 3 days after being elected. Lloyd was elected as the treasurer of the Dominica Calypso Association on Tuesday, October 14. Prior to the recent elections, which followed the resignation of the previous executive led by Davison D. Observer Victor, Lloyd was the only member eligible to remain on the executive and was appointed as the caretaker for the elections. Lloyd announced his resignation earlier today in an interview with DBS News.
Yes, I have resigned as treasurer as the just elected treasurer of the Calypso Association. It was quite a journey getting to where we are at this moment. And even within the executive body, there were insults flown at me that I simply do not appreciate and I will not tolerate. I have my life to live and I will not be taken apart on any level when it comes to contributing to Calypso or to anything else. You understand what I'm saying? I think the respect that we need to operate with, I do not see that permeating through the entire present executive, and I am not prepared to deal with what I have encountered thus far. It's as simple as that. I would have liked to do it for Calypso, but there are elements that I do not think will allow us to progress at the pace we need to, being that we have a very short season to contend with at short notice. And as I said, I will not be vilified or insulted in any way. So I have resigned to avoid any unpleasantness. I think the executive can elect somebody else and continue their work.
Calypsonian Joey Lloyd. The Dominica Hotel and Tourism Association, DHTA, has called for a review of the recent hike in tourism site fees. In a press release, the DHTA said while it welcomes the government's ongoing dialogue on the need for sustainable funding for Dominica's destination marketing and for the maintenance of the island's trails and natural sites, it strongly opposes the government's sudden and substantial increase in tourism site fees effective October 1st, 2025. According to the press release, under the new structure, visitors must now pay US $20 per person per day or US $50 per person per week, in many cases representing an increase of over 300% to access Dominica's natural attractions. The DHTA noted that this is a major change introduced without sufficient consultation with the tourism stakeholders or prior notice to those affected. The release added that these new charges, together with the impending US $30 tourism levy slated for January 1st, 2026, place the heaviest burden on stayover visitors who contribute the most to the economy through longer stays and higher in-country spending. The release further stated that cruise visitors who place significant pressure on Dominica's sites and infrastructure continue to pay disproportionately low head tax and site fees, in some cases as little as US $3. The DHTA said it is therefore calling on the government to immediately suspend the new site fees. In other news this evening, Festivals and Events Manager at Discover Dominica Authority, Ayodele Andrew, says preparations for the 25th edition of the World Creole Music Festival are well advanced. She made the announcement during the World Creole Music Festival press conference this morning. Andrew says the forecourt is expected to be transformed into a vibrant cultural hub during the festival.
We are ready to open the gates to the Windsor Park Sports Stadium 8 days away. The theme for this year's festival, Global Echoes of the Nature Eye, celebrating Creole music, magic, and memories. The theme encapsulates our mission to honor the trailblazers who have built the festival and to showcase Dominica as the epicenter of Creole culture. The forecourt experience we are elevating the atmosphere. The forecourt will be transformed into a lively cultural hub featuring a diverse array of food and beverage options from our vendors. There will be sponsor activations, art displays, and always we invite you to check out our local artisans to take a piece of Dominica back home with you if you're visiting. And even if you're a resident here, you can take something and support the local artisans and take a piece home with you. This is the perfect space for everyone to immerse themselves in the full Korean ambience before and between the main performances. Preparation works are ongoing and we are steadily progressing at the Windsor Park Port Stadium. All our major infrastructure and setup are already complete, ensuring we deliver a safe, comfortable, and visually spectacular environment for all 3 nights.
Festivals and Events Manager at Discover Dominica Authority, Ayodele Andrew. Fisheries Liaison Officer Zethra Barron has emphasized the importance of building capacity among local farmers and fishermen to support food security in Dominica. Her comments were made during a discussion on DBS Radio in observance of World Food Day under the theme Hand in Hand for Better Foods and a Better Future.
Food for us is not an abstract concern. We have all of our vulnerabilities. We just spoke about the global pressures, but for us as an island, we have disease control. We had COVID-19 that affected our production, not only on land. I have to say that when it comes to the sea, we had our own COVID of the sea. We have our vulnerabilities when it comes to climate change. We also have vulnerabilities when it comes to disease in situ, in the water. What we continue to do is help build capacity within smaller groups, the coastal communities, in the interior where you have the farmer groups. Build a capacity in terms of training, in terms of aid, in terms of the provision of materials that they're supposed to use, in terms of having programs and projects to help mitigate pests, to help mitigate the direct concerns that they have on the ground. Because it is all fun and good for us to give addresses and for us to say what is affecting us. But these people on the ground require training and the knowledge in order that they manage what they're doing. And so the Ministry of Agriculture, with the assistance of FAO that I must highlight, continues to build capacity within our persons on the ground.
Fisheries Liaison Officer Zethra Barron. That's the national focus, regional and international developments up next.
Yo, what's up? Baby, let's go! Turn your TV on. Listen to DBS on Digicel TV Channel 50 and Flow TV Channel 951.
DBS News.
In news from the region, police in Trinidad and Tobago have said they are investigating reports that 2 Trinidadians were among the 6 people killed in the United States' most recent strike on a boat it said was carrying drugs. U.S. President Donald Trump announced the strike on Tuesday in a post on Truth Social, saying the vessel had been just off the coast of Venezuela and was transiting along a known designated terrorist organization route. The Trinidad and Tobago Police Service said it was aware of the reports that citizens of the country, which lies less than 10 miles off the coast of Venezuela, had been on the vessel. Police said they are conducting inquiries, but said that the information is yet to be fully verified through official channels and said they could not confirm any details. And internationally, U.S. President Donald Trump says great progress was made during a phone call with Russian President Vladimir Putin today, with the pair agreeing to face-to-face talks. He said the call is the first with Putin since mid-August and was very productive, adding that teams from Washington and Moscow will meet next week. Trump did not confirm a date for his meeting with Putin. The Kremlin said work on the summit would begin immediately after the extremely frank and trustful call. That's news, the DBS Evening Sports Report. Up next.
Covering the nation and beyond, DBS Sports Report.
Radio on the go. www.dbcradio.net. Click the play button at the top and you're good to go with the nation station, DBS Radio.
Welcome to the DBS Evening Sports Report. West Indies fast bowler Jayden Seales has been fined 25% of his match fee for breaching the ICC's Code of Conduct in the second test against India. Seales was found guilty of a Level 1 breach on Friday's opening day of the second test during the 29th over of India's first innings when he fielded the ball on his follow-through and threw it at the batter Yaswal, hitting him on the pads. In addition to the fine, one demerit point had been added to Seales' disciplinary record, taking his total demerit points to 2 in a 24-month period. President of the Dominica Chess Federation, Carlton Movan, is pleased with the growing reach of chess across Dominica. His remarks came as he commended the efforts of 7 individuals who excelled at the recently concluded 2025 National Chess Championship Qualifiers Open section. The national finals are carried for November.
The Dominica Chess Federation proudly congratulates the top 7 players of the 2025 National Chess Championship Qualifiers Open section. 10 competitors took part in a thrilling 6-round Swiss event on October 11th and 12th, including 1 female player, 3 high school students, and candidate master Nigel Francis. A true reflection of the growing reach of chess across Dominica. Rommel Loda topped the field with an impressive 5 out of 6 points. Joining him in the national finals are Larry Thomas, Nicholas Goldberg, candidate master Nigel Francis, Edgar Berridge, Tyrell Coffey, a student of the St. Mary's Academy, and Brandon Henry. We commend all participants for their focus, dedication, and skill throughout the tournament. Looking ahead, the national finals in November promises an exciting 7-round round-robin showdown where the 7 players will face the 2024 National Chess Champion, Mr. Robert Breeding, in the fight for the 2025 title.
President of the Dominica Chess Federation, Carlton Movan. He goes by the name of DJ Real Boss, and he is one of the more popular DJs on the island. But last night he scored the most important goal in the history of the Do It Center Mighty Avengers football's history to push them into the semi-finals of the DFA Division 1. Kerwin Riviere, aka DJ Real Boss, scored the winner in extra time as the Mighty Avengers defeated Fonkole FC to move within 2 wins of a spot in the DFA Premier League for next season. Nyron Boston and Jovan Bryson put the Mighty Avengers up 2-0 before Fonkole came back to level thanks to goals from Derwin Wade and Cadell Joseph. Jerron George thought he had gotten the winner for the Mighty Avengers in the 85th minute, only to see Kajan Israel scoring the equalizer for Fonkole soon after. The game went into extra time and DJ Real Boss got the winner with a stunner to give the Mighty Avengers the 4-3 win. Do It Center Mighty Avengers head coach is Karim Regis.
Well, it was a good game for us. We prepared properly for the game. I mean, we knew Fonkole was riding a lot of good form. I was going to come and give us a serious fight, but we had to show what we were capable of. And I mean, for my players personally, we had something other than the game to play for. We saw the provisional list of the national team coming out, and for a team that had only conceded 6 goals all season, for none of our defenders to be considered the likes of Jomari Peters and Jaim Popo, Enoch Phillip upon others that put in monster performances at the back. We had to come out and make a statement game, which was our statement game tonight. we had a lot of naysayers, but tonight we could come out victorious, and kudos to all of the guys. They've been really putting in a lot of work, and I'm just proud that we can travel through and go to the semi-finals.
All right, you sort of had to make it difficult, or made it a bit difficult for yourselves because you're up 2-0, got back the lead, conceded again, forced extra time. So how did you sort of, get the guys settled?
I just had to talk to them and tell them know that the game is there for us to win, and we have to take control of the game after a few contentious calls by the referee. And these are things that I've been trying to talk to the guys about. We cannot lose our heads when the referees are making bad calls. The referee's making a call, the referee's in charge of the game. We need to focus, and that was the emphasis of my talk before the extra time. We need to focus on what's happening in front of us, which is the game. And if we focus on the game, we'll win. If we're focusing on all of the distractions on the outside, we will never make it. And that's what we have to do. We have to focus on what's in front of us, which is the ball. It's 11 of us, it's a team. And doing that, we're able to be victorious tonight.
Do It Center Mighty Avengers head coach Kareem Regis. The 4 teams into the semi-finals are the Do It Center Mighty Avengers, St. Joseph FC, the RC Doctors, and Bafasit FC. A new champion could be crowned in the DABA Premier League if the Paybush Super Eagles have their way tonight as they continue with their semi-finals series with the defending champions Detroit Blazers at the Massac Indoor Facility. The Eagles are leading the 3-match series 1-0 following a victory in game on Tuesday evening. Game 2 of that series is set for 9 p.m. this evening. A win for the Eagles will see them into the finals, while a Blazers victory will force a Game 3 on Saturday. Meantime, the happy 767 Sports Club Dominators can punch their tickets to the finals with a win over the BAA Sharks tonight. The Dominators are leading the 3-match series 1-0 following their game their Game 1 win on Tuesday. Game 2 is set for 7 p.m. tonight. United Arab Emirates have qualified for the 2026 Men's T20 World Cup in India and Sri Lanka after defeating Japan on Thursday by 8 wickets in the Asia EAP qualifier tournament. The UAE now join Nepal and Oman as the last 3 teams to secure their World Cup spot in next year's edition. Apart from host India and Sri Lanka, the other teams with automatic qualification into the tournament are the top 7 teams from the 2024 T20 World Cup: Afghanistan, Australia, Bangladesh, England, South Africa, United States of America, and West Indies. The 3 teams that qualified on base of their T20 international rankings were New Zealand, Pakistan, and Ireland. The 2026 tournament will follow the same format as the previous edition. The 20 teams will be split into 4 groups of 5 each, with every team playing the other once in a round-robin format. The top 2 teams from every group will progress to the Super 8 stage, where they will be placed into 2 groups of 4 for another round-robin phase. The top 2 sides from each Super 8 group will then qualify for the semi-finals. The winners of the semi-finals will meet in the finals. And that's how we end the DBS Evening Sports Report and News. On behalf of the News and Sports Departments and our link person, DJ Hello Boy, I am Leila Langford saying good evening.
DBS Radio gives you top quality service over any other for live streaming of funerals. Call us today at 448-3282.
welcome to the evening edition of the DBS Radio Community Bulletin Board. It is the 16th day of October 2025. We begin with this evening's edition of the DBS Radio death announcements on the DBS Radio Community Bulletin Board. We announce the death of Mrs. Lorna Alfred Prosper, age 63 of Tetmon, Grand Bay. She died on Wednesday, the 1st of October at the Dominica China Friendship Hospital. She was the wife of Rutan Prosper. She was the mother of 3 sons, Mitchell and Kevin Prosper and Miguel Mark in the United States of America, and 3 daughters, Tasha Paquette and Chevelle and Naisha Prosper. She will also be remembered by her stepfather, Antoine Bedminister, 1 brother, Lenny Alfred, her 6 sisters, Irma, Denzelia, Dorita, Corinne, Hermaine, and Nesta Alfred, her 3 grandchildren, Kenny Paquette, Kunaya, and Denari Prosper, her 3 aunts, Augustine, Christine in the United States of America, and Teresa in the United Kingdom, 1 uncle, John Bastian, many cousins including Virgin, Sylvia, Rodriguez, and Irvin, her daughter-in-law, Nikki, many nieces and nephews, both here and abroad, the Benoit, Angol, Alexander, Bastian, and Watt families in Tetmon and neighboring communities, the Honorable Parliamentary Representative Vince Henderson and Mrs. Melissa Poppins-Carrot, and the entire communities of Tetmon and Montine. The body of the late Mrs. Lorna Alfred Prosper of Tetmon, Grand Bay, will be transported from Lyndhurst Funeral Home for viewing from 2:30 p.m. on Monday, the 20th of October, at the Grand Bay Sacred Space. The funeral mass takes place at 3 p.m. and will be followed by interment at the Grand Bay Catholic Cemetery. We announce the death of Mr. Gifford Maslin, better known as Gibson, and Bakey, age 51, of Upper Penville. He died on Friday, the 3rd of October, at the Reginald Fitzgerald Armour Hospital. He was the son of Grace Maslin. He will also be remembered by his sisters and brothers, Mavis George, Lorraine Williams, Julia Constable, and Elvis Maslin. His aunt and uncle, Alice Maslin at Flanders, Helen Royer, Obed Maslin, and Clement Maslin and their families. Brothers and sisters-in-law, Ravia George, Ryan Constable, Hilary Williams, and Natasha Maslin. Nieces and nephews, Racia George, Chantel, Dwayne Jolly, Dewan, Dejari, Sawana Williams, Shante, Elvis Maslin Jr., Kamika Harley, Kishon and Kenaya Constable. Grandnieces and grandnephews, Deshanti Wilson, Kylie Constable, and Azuri Williams. 15 cousins living in Dominica and abroad. Godfather Savrin Marcelin. Close family and special friends to include Honorable Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerritt, Yvonne, Rosemary, Mark, Barnett, nurses and doctors from the APU, Nurse Helen, Chevelle, and Dubois, the community of Penville. Other relatives, the Maslin, Constable, Royer, Flanders, Etienne, Valerie, Williams, George, Flora, Sylvain, and Leblanc families, and many other names too numerous to mention. He was predeceased in death by his uncle Roberto Maslin. The body of the later Mr. Gifford Maslin, better known as Gibson, and Bakey of Penville will be transported from the Northeastern Funeral Association for viewing from 1 p.m. on Monday, the 20th of October, at the Penville, that should be to the Viecas Catholic Church. The funeral mass will take place at 2 p.m. and will be followed by interment at the Viecas Catholic Cemetery. Announced the death of Ezekiel Blondell, better known as Papa Kell of Corleyho, who resided in England and River Estate, Canefield. He died on Wednesday, the 24th of September, at his residence. He was the husband of Coralie Blondell. He was the father of 7 daughters, Amanda Blondell and Wendy in England, Corel, Joan, Damiel, and Skeeter in the United States of America, and Ezra Blondell, and 1 son, Halford Vidal, in Dominica. He will also be remembered by his sons-in-law, Martin John Baptist, Patrick Errol, and Irving Sylvester. His grandsons, Tayshaun James Blondell and Hassani Blondell in